had a few FID days planned for if there was snow or whatever. But over the weekend, our administration got together and decided that beginning March 17th, we would begin online instruction using Seesaw. Now, our first and second graders were pros at Seesaw, but if you ever taught a kindergartner, you understand March is like the sweet spot. February, March, they're finally just maturing, understanding, have a little independence. That's when they begin to shine, and of course, that's when they left. So we teach 4 days a week. Mondays are used for Act 80 days. We teachers, we have the Google meetings, teams meet together. There's no student instruction. We just go back and forth with meetings on Google. They receive instruction Tuesdays through Fridays. Homeroom teachers post their student works at 8 a.m. on Seesaw. So that's an app that all the students have. You can time it to schedule it to go out at a certain time, and it'll go out either just to your particular classroom, or being a special teacher, I can send it out to every student. We're expected to be available 9 to 12 and 1 to 3. We rarely get like emergency phone calls from this age. Usually the parents will send an email, hey, this link didn't work, that didn't work. That's how we work with that. And our specials used to be a 6-day rotation, but now they're 5. So we have library, gym, art, making, and music. So instead of making it the 6 days, they just do physical education 1 day. So what I did immediately is we do a morning announcement in our school. And it's basically the second graders come up to my classroom. We hit the all call button on the phone and they read it. We had just begun to do green screen videos with second grade, doing their little morning announcement that week, and we had to go home. And so I contacted the principal and I said, let's have one thing that takes them back to school. Can I still do the morning announcement? And he said, hey, if you want to do it. I had to justify, I'm a full-time teacher putting out one lesson every 5 days. And in my mind, I didn't feel that was fair to the homeroom teachers who were working every single day. So what I would do is I would contact a grade level, find out what their major topic was, and try to wrap my morning message around it to help them get more content in. So I'm going to try to show you a morning announcement. So if I click on it. Good morning, Avonworth Primary Center students. Today is Wednesday, May 13th, 2020. Did it not work? Good morning, Avonworth Primary Center students. Today is Wednesday, May 13th, 2020. Everyone at the APC would like to wish Caledonia Frano a very happy birthday. Special wishes to you today. Our weather forecast is calling for a partly sunny day, so that's really good news. And our special today is physical education. I think we all need to get outside and get our heart pumping and our legs and our arms moving. Today I'd like you to try a little maker craft if you can. I found this container in my recycle bin, and I printed out a picture of a butterfly. So I took the butterfly and I put the plastic lid down on top of it. Then I took my Sharpie marker and I traced it all in black. And then I went back in and I added the different colors to it. And then I took really sharp scissors. A grown-up might have to help you with this because sometimes the plastic gets sharp, and I cut it out. And then I hot glued it on a stick, and I have a butterfly that when you put it by the window, it casts different shadows. Perhaps you and your brother or your sister or your mom or dad could make a couple, and you could have a butterfly puppet show in your house today. So that's one way that I use things that I just had in my home. Could everyone please take a moment and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Can you guys see me or no? Wait.
Yes, we can see you.
Okay. So I won't make you sit through the Pledge of Allegiance, but what happens is that second grade is working on butterflies. So I tried to incorporate that. In the meantime, I am hatching butterflies here in my home. Now, our PTA gives us $200 per classroom. I hadn't used my money yet. So I ordered like hatching butterflies, praying mantises, different things that I could show the kids. I went up and down the street and asked for every Halloween costume anybody had. And so that would probably seem silly to older kids, but I constantly get emails every day. Mrs. Frew, our whole family stops for the Pledge of Allegiance, or, you know, we never have kept so much trash in our garage. I always really, everything I've done by trial and error. I'm going to be honest, I'm 60 years old. I have let technology not get too far ahead of me, but unfortunately I have let some things get ahead of me. I'm working with our youngest students. So everything I do, I have to plan ahead. I videotape the morning announcements. Like today will be my day, so I have them for the whole week. I learned that you must use materials that you know people will have at home to appeal to most people, because if you don't, as teachers, you're going to understand that there's going to be the one or two parent that, you know, complains, I don't have a hot glue gun, or, you know, I just try to use everything that I can. We have decided as a district that we would not have introduced any new apps, even though during these couple months I would have introduced new apps. It's just too much for the parents. It's just too much for the kids. So we're just going to continue to build on what they already know. Practical tips. This is what happens a lot. I send my morning messages to our tech department. He tries out any links that I have just to make sure. He can find out if the iPads aren't updated, and he updates them all. I check every video 2 or 3 times before I send it out, because you, as a teacher, you know that you're just afraid that you're going to send out a video and there's going to be a picture in it for lingerie or something that, you know, will just make you want to know you're going to be on the news that night. So I check everything like crazily. I drive my husband insane, but I want to make sure that I do everything the right way. My next steps truly are, I'm just trying to get as much information in my activities without overwhelming the kids, my colleagues, or myself or parents. I can tell when kids will respond to what I posted. You know, we had this high level of engagement, and each week you can see it getting smaller and smaller. Kids will respond back to me, I don't care to do this activity, even though it's something they have to do. Or they'll say, this doesn't sound fun to me. Where in the beginning it was, can you send me an extra one? Can you mail me something in the mail? And I understand that we can only all do so much. You know, I feel like that I'm on a stage right now and performing. And so I have to pull back my role as well to say, you know, you're doing enough. They can take the information or not take the information, but I still feel a sense of obligation to put it out there to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do. I want to get back to see everybody. So Kevin, can you tell me how I can do that? Because well, you can see me, so don't worry about it. So can everybody see this little ladybug?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. So what this is, friends, is it's just a pop bottle that I painted and I made. But the story behind this was kindergarten was working on the grouchy ladybug. And if they were in the classroom, they would have time to make this. But since they want the kids to get the content, I did it for them. And while I did it for them, I talked about symmetry and why ladybugs have dots. And so I added their science content into it so they didn't have to worry about it. Second grade, of course, was working on butterflies and working on insects. And their big push was they wanted the second graders to know that the body parts of the insects, the antennas, the legs, the wings, the thorax. And so I created this at home, added it into a second grade lesson so that they could take this, make a screenshot of it, and then they labeled the body parts and then sent it back to their teacher. Some kids took the time to do it and some kids didn't. First grade was working on telling time in various ways. So we actually made a clock that I showed them how to use a brass fastener, which nobody has at home, you know, so that was a struggle, how they could make the clock move. And then I threw in an extra one, how you could make a sundial out of just a simple paper plate. And believe it or not, I didn't have a pencil at home. I had to use a pen, how they could do that. I talk a lot about nature. And so, of course, I found the bird's nest. So then I tied in my activity, my maker activity was that we read a book about just being at home, and I asked them to create their favorite nest. It could be his favorite spot in their room or a room they'd love to have, but I showed them how I made everything out of recycled materials. This was probably the biggest hit because it was during a very rainy week, and parents told me, you know, would work on it and then come back to it and work on it and come back to it. But I really made sure that everything I used, I had at home. This is when the virus was really bad. No one was allowed out to do anything. Now
Maureen,
that, yes,
hey, Maureen, I'm sorry. Can you, at the top of your screen, can you click the red button that says stop share?
yes,
There you
there we
go.
are. Okay.
That way
Um,
people will be able to see what you're showing.
So one week I dressed up like an inflatable dinosaur because another grade level was working on dinosaurs. And so every activity I did revolved around recyclables. So I took a milk jug and I just simply drew the face of a dinosaur on it. And then with the knife, you cut it out and it actually looks like a dinosaur. So this was another big, and then I made salt dough and they made dinosaur bones. But I don't just throw out an additional activity. This is something that's happening in a grade level. So our librarian will read a book. Our art teacher will bump off of that. I will bump off of that. Music lesson will go with it. And physical education, they'll try to throw in, say, a dinosaur walk. So it's very consistent. The kids know that these 5 activities are coming, that this is going to tie into this is going to tie into that. It isn't the activities we would have done if we were in school, but we sat with the team leaders and they told us what they needed. And so we reworked what we've done. One week we talked about inventions. And so I, of course, had to make an invention, and I showed the kids that this would come down from the ceiling and it would wash your hair, it would dry your hair, comb your hair, cut your hair, or give you the works if you wanted. And so I tried to reference the Jetsons, but of course they didn't know what I was talking about. And so this was just things that they could do at home. One of the moms is on this call. She's probably cursing me as we speak right now. But I just want the kids to know still that we have to have a sense of community, that morning announcement ties us all together, that we're still a school. We shout out birthdays. If somebody loses a tooth and they're grown-ups, email me. I'll have a tooth fairy wand and we'll do that, just so they kind of understand that, you know, we're here, how at the best that we can be. So that's pretty much how I'm getting by, what I'm doing for our smallest, youngest learners. I know that it probably looks way different past my grade level, but that's kind of what I'm doing.
Thanks, Maureen. Hey, we had some questions, and the one was the difference between Seesaw and Google Classroom. Now, was Google Classroom even an option for you?
Google Classroom up until a week ago was not even an option for us, K through 12. We were not allowed to be with our class while they were in their homes. But there
Mhm.
was, parents did, some requesting, and it worked that two of us are always on a Google call. So that's another thing that I've been able to help with. When I have downtime, teachers will reach out. I might not even talk. I'm just sitting in the classroom with them. And then
Sure.
that way we can go back and forth. What happens, I think, with Google is that unless a parent is physically there to help the child get on and monitor them, in kindergarten and first grade, it's a mess.
They just kind of drift off, huh?
Yeah, it's just a mess. Second
Yeah.
graders, I find it delightful with them. I don't know if I don't believe that our teachers are teaching with it. I believe it's more of, come and let's play 20 questions or let's have recess together.
Okay.
Seesaw was always installed in our district.
Um, and so when you're using Seesaw, is that so you can get some responses back from the children?
The kids can respond back to everything. You can post it as an activity. Like my morning message I post, they don't have to respond. But my activity I assign, and hopefully they respond. And then you go through and you think they're not waiting for that response, but when you miss that one or two, you know, they reach out to you and say, didn't do what I did, and then you feel horrible. So you can do an audio comment, a
Mhm.
video comment, or just type in something.
There was a question, would you mind showing your projects again?
Absolutely.
Part of that was my fault. I forgot to tell you to put yourself on full
All
screen.
right, guys. So
They were kind of hard to see.
kindergarten was working on the very grouchy ladybug. And I just took a pop bottle, cut off the bottom. You could use, I always tell them you can paint, you can use Sharpies. And then I just, oh, poor guy, put it together to show them that. Second grade is working on this week parts of an insect. And so I made this insect and I made a video how to make it. I sent it to the second grade team. They're going to post it and ask the kids. Each teacher may ask for a different idea for the kids. And you can tell this was just crazy stuff I had at home. I haven't truly left this basement other than this past weekend for a long time. On
Like
the,
most of us.
yeah, like all of you, I've been patching butterflies upstairs and sending them updates. This was made out of a milk jug. There's a zillion things you can make out of a milk jug. My favorite thing, and I think the one that the kids love most, is I found a real nest, and we talked about how we were all at home kind of nesting right now, and we wanted to make our space our own, and what could we do? And so I asked the kids if they would create their own nest, a place in their home that they love the best, or a room that they'd love to have. And so I really tried to take my time to show them, this was from a pasta box and this was from a water bottle, and how I wanted hardwood floors in mine. So I used popsicle sticks, and this was just paper. And the ones that I got back were incredible. Like one family has worked on it for a week and now it's like a 2-floor home. And it was wonderful because it was the week of horrible weather and that the kids really needed something to keep going. This was the bird feeder that the birds could just use, but I put these in recently. When I made it, I used sticks from the yard. So I wanted kids to know that they didn't need to go out and buy anything. This was just the stuff that I had at home. I made the sundial. I don't know if you saw that. I didn't. Do you believe I didn't have a pencil in my house? I'm embarrassed to say, but I did not have a pencil. So most of the things, almost everything, and what I do, I'm just going to go for 1 second. I have the pleasure of having the school hamster that I had to bring home.
Ah,
His
nice.
name, his name is Maker Matt. And so I have attached a yarn machine to Maker Matt, and I improvised this wheel. So this week, Maker Matt's going to be knitting for us. You can tell I'm super bored down here. But the kids will send me an email and say, is Maker Matt still alive? And I want to say, oh, I wish he wasn't, but he is. And so I've made mazes for the hamster. I've put him in, and I never post a video during the teaching time, because you know what happens. They get interested in schoolwork. So I wait till 3 o'clock and I post the videos after, or I post them on a Monday when I know they're not doing schoolwork. Another thing that our teachers do is we send out, we call it the Monday matinee, and we send out a Monday movie every week. Trust me, it's not going to win an award. I went on, it's called We Video, and they're giving teachers a free subscription to their premium until the end of June. So it would be like $400 or $500 for you to purchase it, but you don't even, I brought the school green screen home, but you don't need a green screen. Everything is on it. And if I can work through it, you young guys can work through it. So I make this video and I post it every Monday. This week we're dancing. One week I made them sing, I have a lot of complaints. We posted our favorite food. We just want the kids to know that we're home and we're normal, just like they are. And so they love, I think, a snapshot into your life. It's WEVIDEO. It's We Video. And you fill it out to say you're a teacher, and within 30 minutes, I had the license. So they're very quick, and then they send you a video every day, something new that you can do on your site. So I think you guys, I'd give it a try, especially since it's free. And if this lasts much longer, it might be free for a longer time.
Yeah, thanks, Maureen. And I put in the chat that We Video works on Chromebooks.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that what
So
you're
what I
using?
do is I make the video and then I upload it to YouTube, and I send that link to the kids through Seesaw.
Great. Now, one person asked, do you ever have the kids make while you're live with them?
Well, that was a thought that I had thought. I thought I would have Maker Mondays.
Yeah.
Kids could make with me. But my struggle is, will they have the materials?
Materials, right. That would be
Our
the tough part.
did a directed drawing, and she said it was okay. It wasn't what she thought it would be. I am going to have a Maker Monday with I'm going to reach out to some parents who I know and have one before the school year's over. I'll email the parents, say, can you have them have this ready? And I'll make sure they have it in their home. I want to try it out before next year in case we're not back at school,
Right.
because I could certainly host those every day at different times and have the kids join me.
That's great. Now, there was somebody who asked, and I think maybe we answered that question, but you cannot video chat through Seesaw, correct?
You cannot video
You can
chat.
record a video. Your kids see it, and then they can record a video and you see it, but it's not.
Right.
That's why you're using.
The kids are adorable because they'll post like, I lost my tooth, my dog got a haircut, because they want to see you to see
Right.
what's going on in their lives too.
Right. But that's why you're using Google Meet for
Yes.
live interaction. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Second grade is very good at it. They have the rules. They're all muted. We played 20 questions. I was a surprise person on it. And so I had the cards ready, and I have the dinger bell, and you had to guess what Mrs. Frew would have in her basement. And they're like, you have a saw, you have a chainsaw. And so, different things like that.
That's great. Um, and
Oh yeah, Laura, that's a great one. Our art teacher uses Art Hub.
okay, yeah. Is that
What I've decided, Kevin, with my special time is I tie my making activity to an app the kids already know. So I want them to do making, but I want them to the technology. But now I'm kind of wondering for the last 2 weeks, are they on the iPad long enough that I should just let them use their hands and let go of the technology since the
right?
teachers are doing it and they're probably on it. But since my role is making technology, like I always feel this obligation to do both.
Yeah, sure.
I'd love to get a group of my friends together or parents that I know and just put them in my driveway 6 feet apart and say, tell me what you liked, tell me what you didn't, you won't hurt my feelings. Is it too much for a working parent?
Right.
Are we asking you while you're, like, because I know Melinda right now on this call, she's teaching and has kids at home. And is she losing her mind? But then you have other parents that are like, you're not doing enough. You're not giving me enough. So what's the happy medium? I'm okay to send out more to Sally Joe if she needs it.
Right.
Let Raymond alone if he doesn't, you know.
Yeah, it was interesting. You mentioned that at the beginning the kids were really open to these ideas, and now they seem to be kind of fading. And I wonder if it isn't just partly this is hard on them too.
I'm sure it's very
Yeah.
hard on them. We have been selling some things through Jam, and I put them on my front porch specifically so we don't have to make contact. But I can hear them on my front porch like, well, she lives there. Why can't we ring the bell? Why can't we see her? And so it is, I think,
Yeah.
a lot for them. And
Sure.
I don't get heartbroken when I don't get a response to I think it's more important for them to respond to their language arts and their math. But I still like to throw some things out there. Now that the weather's going to start being nicer, I get it. If a mom's working and they can play in their backyard and they have their reading and their math done, go outside, because I would do the same thing. I'd be
Right.
like, leave, just go,
Yeah.
Or they
Right.
can always, they're going to save these on their Seesaw. Perhaps in the summer, if the swimming pool isn't open, they can
Right.
go back and create something.
Sure.
So
Sure. How about other folks in the audience? If you want to open your microphone and ask a question, if something's come to mind. I think we answered all the ones in the chat. You got some nice comments from the parents you mentioned there.
Amanda Graff. So we love our school secretary from the bottom of our heart. She runs our school as any school secretary does.
Right.
And if she's sick, the world goes under. And it was her birthday. And I know the kids love her. So we sang to her. I sang. But oftentimes I had her make a video and send it out to the kids. I had our school nurse make a video, send it to me and send it out, because they don't have as much contact. Our custodian,
Sure.
Mr. Mark, the kids love him. And so I had, it was tough for him. He doesn't have a phone that can record. So he went to a neighbor, they recorded him, he sent it to me, and I sent it out to them. But I feel as the technology teacher, that's part of my job.
Sure.
I need to justify teachers that are on this 8 hours a day. What am I doing? It's just the nature of the beast, though.
Right.
They're going to have more work than I'm have, but I try to reach out to them every Monday and say, what can I take off your plate? I'll make a video. I won't show my face. I'll send it to you and you send it out.
Sure.
They
Yeah.
would help me if I needed it. So, I try. If anyone out there has any suggestions on what's tough for you, send me an email later and say, hey, do you have something? Because if I have a video, I'm more than willing to send it to you. There's no sense of us all recreating the wheel. just let me know.
That's for sure. I think that's one thing that's coming clear now is it would make sense
Yeah.
for like entire grade levels to work together rather than 5 people trying to come up with their own lesson, build it together, and everybody use the same one. Yeah.
That's why we even did that with the specials. We all got together and had a Google meeting and said, um, let's just make it one cohesive thing.
I think somebody wanted to ask a question.
Yeah,
Somebody
so
else?
hi, I'm Bethany. I'm from Northgate. I'm teaching, I'm a long-term sub actually for first grade, but I've been talking to my kids in Google Meets every Monday and Friday, and I was just telling them that the last week I'm going to make it kind of like a spirit week, and so we'll meet every day that last week and do something different, like a scavenger hunt. We might just all go outside so everyone can be outside together. But one of the kids said, can we do a craft, and like a summer craft? And I said, that's a great idea. And I haven't had the chance to do some research or, find some summer easy crafts that they might already have like materials at home. Do you have any suggestions?
The one that I'm going to do is I'm going to make bubbles because everybody has the 3 ingredients in the house that they need. It's water, sugar, and one other thing. And they can basically take a shoestring, pull a shoestring out of a shoe, lay it, tie in a circle, lay it down and pull it out. Or you can take a straw and a pipe cleaner and bend it around. I like you said, it has to be stuff that they have at home. Sidewalk chalk. You can make sidewalk chalk with crazy things that you would never think that you had at home. If you're going to have my email, please feel free to email me.
Okay,
I
thank
can
you.
send you links to all the stuff that I've made that I know kids will have at home. But I think the bubbles will be a great one because they can take it outside and they can do it.
And then I can use it with my daughter.
Right. Another thing I
There you
made
go.
for them is I took a milk jug and I hollowed the front out and I had them go collect items, rocks, leaves, sticks, and we made a bug hotel.
Oh,
And you put the bug hotel by your garden because garden needs friendly bugs. So
that's great. Thank you so much.
yeah, that was another fun one because they had to be outside. Everyone has milk jugs. I don't have them because I don't have kids, but I'm sure if you have kids. And I said, if you don't have a milk jug, get a plastic bowl. Go to your trash can. We all have trash. When they tell you they don't, they just don't want to do it. And it used to hurt my feelings. And now I move on.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You know what? We're close. So just let me know. I probably have a costume here you can borrow. So just let me know.
Sounds good.
Thanks for asking that, Bethany.
Of course.
Anybody else want to speak up? There was Mary wanted to know, Maureen, any tips and tricks for using Seesaw? Anything you've learned along the way?
So Mary, I'm going to be super honest with you. I did not use Seesaw until May 15th because in my classroom, I really had no reason for it. Like they came in, they did the technology on the iPad. If we wanted to show a parent an activity, they shared it to their teacher and then the teacher had to okay it. So I didn't even know Seesaw, which I'm embarrassed. Like I am totally embarrassed of myself. One thing that I did really learn from the beginning was don't assign an activity if you don't want them to respond, because the first morning message, I assigned it because I didn't want to get out of bed. And then I had 450 people responding to that morning message. And at that point, I had no choice but to respond back to them all. Just be real careful. But Seesaw, I think, is so forgiving because you can post something and you're like, oh, I made a mistake, and you can go right back and delete it. You can get it right out of there. What I like with Seesaw is you can see what kids responded and what kids didn't. And initially we were worried about that for grading. Since we're not going to grade, it's really kind of a moot point now. I just like Seesaw because it keeps a journal of everything they've done for a whole school year. And I like Seesaw too, because you can go on their website and there's a video for anything you don't know.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting because that's kind of the same thing in Google Classroom. You have the choice between announcement and assignment.
Right.
And I think some teachers found that out, that if you assign it, then the problem is the parents will also contact you and say, we don't know if Johnny did his assignment because you didn't grade it.
Right.
And all you wanted to do was make sure everybody saw your announcement. So right, it's a little bit of back and forth. Yeah, Mary says thank you. So yeah, right. Not knowing what people have in their house is tough because you can't generalize things. Not sure everybody could have a cereal box even, you know.
Right. And I'll say to them, anytime I use something sharp, or, I'll show them that I took a macaroni and cheese box and I just poured the contents in a bowl and put it aside for later because I wanted the box. I'll say to them, you have to ask your grown up. That I don't know, but I think at this point, everyone in the world has an Amazon box.
Right.
Or an Amazon bag. And so this week I'm going to try to make some stuff out of Amazon bags.
Yeah.
Just so people can see, what they
you
have
can
at
do with
home
them.
that they can use. Although the whole world was out this weekend, so Dollar Tree was empty. So I'm thinking that maybe everybody went to get craft supplies. So I'm not quite sure.
Right. Well, if no one has any further questions, we can close this session out. I want to thank you very much, Maureen, for sharing. There were a lot of very great compliments to you in the chat, and people are saying things like you're an inspiration, you're the most kind person they know. So you're
So
you're a good
truly
person.
anybody, if you're out there and you're stuck, I'm alone here in my basement all day. I'm more than willing to help anyone. You have my email, just let me know.
Can you
post your email?
Do you mind if I type it in the chat,
No,
Maureen?
go right ahead.
Is it Frew?
Yes.
Oops. At Avonworth. What, .k12.pa.us?
Yes. And my YouTube channel, it will really amuse you. It's just Maureen Frew. And it says it has my letters and cookie cutters. I mean, my kids are embarrassed of me. My grown-up children are embarrassed of the YouTube channel, but there's a lot of ideas on there that I've already done with our kids.
Is it, and your Twitter handle is at Frew's Cruise, right?
Right.
I'm putting that there too, in case somebody wants to contact you through Twitter. Okay. All right, everyone. Well, I really appreciate your time and attention this morning. And again, Maureen, thanks for contributing to these 2 weeks of sessions that we've been doing. By the end of it, we'll have 50 presentations from at least 50 teachers. Some are co-presenters, so more than 50.
Wow.
So thank you again, and hope to see you in the real.
In the person. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Take care.